Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So, listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey, I am so excited. Thank you all for joining Get Out There and Get Known podcast, because I am here today with the phenom, Karen Taylor Bass. Yay! I'm so excited because Karen is not only like the PR expert and one of the people that you should follow on Twitter and all that kind of stuff, awards up the kazoo, but she is actually one of my best friends. She is my go-to girl when I'm up, when I'm down, when I want to share secrets, when I want to keep a secret. Karen is who I turn to. And we met years ago.
Oh my gosh, yes.
When the baby was little. So how old is the baby now?
She's 13. She's a teenager.
So we've known each other for 13 years. And I remember her being in the PR space, and she was doing a lot of stuff. And she had to really just say, let me sit still because I'm having this baby. And you were 40
years old, yeah.
40 years old, and I had my baby at 36, and we just bonded. It says, I understand where you are. We are type A personalities, and we cannot do the same thing when you got these babies.
Right.
And so we bonded, and we kept in touch, and we actually started something almost, I guess, years ago, like a clubhouse. Really, it was a PR collective we did together, and we were basically PR people coming together. But let me read the official bio of Karen Taylor Bass, and you'll know why she is such a phenom.
Okay, but wait a minute, Pam. Before you read, I want to say hello to your audience and let them know that I cannot see. So in my glasses.
Okay.
Yay! Go ahead.
Well, she's a PR expert, and she is spoken to at a lot of different places as well. So KarenTaylorBass.com. She is a founder and media strategist for Taylor Made Media LLC. She has created strategic public relations, branding, marketing campaigns for nonprofits, schools, corporations, luxury brands, celebrities, athletes, and entrepreneurs. So I'll just throw one name in there. She probably won't mention it, but she used to do all the PR for Jill Scott. Okay. So that was like way before Jill Scott was doing Jill Scott like she is now. Karen was there working with her hand in hand. Her talent is crafting and engaging branding campaigns, which simultaneously securing top-notch media placements. Her placements range from AP, Associated Press, New York Daily News, New York Times, NPR, WBLS, ABC, Washington Post, USA Today. Just Oprah, AOL, just Black Enterprise. She used to write for Black Enterprise. All this stuff. But Karen brings determination and courage to each campaign, project, and client and mentee she works with. She started out as a fundraiser working with United Negro College Fund and United Way to raise funds for various charities by the United Way. And then she exceeded her target fundraising goal 30% of first year. When she's into something, she taps into her passion. She hones her skills as a communicator, writer, which she's written several books, presenter, to tap into the passion as a media expert. She has created memorable youth campaigns, in terms of working with, and she's also worked with other musicians directly. She's worked with Coca-Cola. She's worked with Stevie Wonder from Detroit. Karen's from New York, Mariah Carey, Puff Daddy, all of this stuff. So like I said, she has done it all back, but personally, she's been featured on as the brand mom herself, which we'll talk about on Dr. Oz. She's been on BET, NBC, Fox, ABC, Newsday, a lot. And she's actually had 2 best-selling books as well on branding, and one of the top PR people to follow on Twitter. So that's just a little bit about Karen. It's not where she is right now, because we're going to talk about her journey as a holistic. She's now like a PR yogi. So I'm going to let Karen really explain what that whole pivot has been. And it wasn't because of the pandemic. You were doing this before that. So, you didn't mention this, Karen. You also had a TV show. I love that show when you were with Melinda.
Oh the Chic Rebellion. Yeah.
Yes, you were so good. I was the biggest fan for Chic Rebellion. I
Oh
loved
yeah,
it.
it was so dope. Oh my God. Yes.
That was
Shout
so
out
good.
to Larry Fluker. Yeah.
Yes, that was so good. So explain some of the reiterations of where you've been and where you are now and how you merge the two. Because I actually used your bio last week with the client to explain to them just because you have something new you're doing doesn't mean you lay aside what you've been doing because
Right.
you have a lot of credibility in that area. So talk about how you merge the two.
It wasn't challenging. It was challenging, I should say. Hi, everyone. Such a pleasure to be here. Thanks, Pam, for that long introduction.
That was just a little bit about who you are because there's a whole lot more.
Wow. So, the thing about living authentically is the fact that you are always living on purpose. You are always working towards your end goal or your goal at present tense. So even though I had amazing corporate opportunities and I had a corporate job and I started my own practice, my own boutique agency, there was always something that was calling me to tap in deeper. And I always wanted to be of service. So for me, starting out my career at UNCF, it made sense as a fundraiser because you are at service and giving service, right? Raising money for a great cause. So to be in this position right now as a media strategist, definitely a veteran strategist, but I spend, I would say, 90% of my day doing webinars for corporations on holistic being, whether it's nutrition, whether it's on yoga or meditation. And I have to tell you, it's my sweet spot. I get
Yes.
so excited talking about that. But most importantly, when I say working towards, when I was in corporate America, I knew that this treadmill had a expiration date. You cannot be 53 years old, which I am, and be chasing somebody younger than you. Okay? Unless it's a hot dude and you're with them. But not a client.
Right.
So I wanted to be clear to myself that when I got to a certain age and I had my daughter at 40, I didn't have that bandwidth, that drive to do the same things. So I was setting myself up, but I just got like a push by God because I had postpartum depression. So it was like, woosah, I had to treat myself. And so what I learned is yoga was what my sweet spot was. And it turns out now that I'm certified. But I have to tell everyone, every situation prepares you for the setup. So wherever you are, whatever's going on in your life, you are setting yourself up. And it's during those challenges where you really dig in and you really begin to live the life that you're supposed to lead. And we don't know what that looks like, but just know that you are setting yourself up even without knowing you are. You are.
Yes, that is so good. So each time you had this setup, you had a book, right?
Right.
You birthed the book. So the first book, though, was PR for Everyday People. So let's talk about that book because I love that book. And the book actually came out of a blog.
Yeah, so that book is, my daughter's 13, so that book is 14 years old. Remains my number one bestseller. You want caviar, but have money for Oh, people every day. Yeah.
I've known you for a long time now. Come on now. It's like,
okay, you took me back. All right, let me just hold my chest.
You don't even know. Like we gotta be PR for each other, okay?
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. Okay, so that book now I give to schools. But that book started out, it was a blog, but I wanted to journal. So it became a journal where you can journal your thoughts, learn about PR, but it's really, really just a journal. That's what people every day. Then it morphed into the second, which became my bestseller. And that is You Want Caviar, but have money for chitlins. A smart, do-it-yourself PR guide for those on a budget.
Yes.
And that is an evergreen book no matter what's happening. It's a pandemic, no pandemic. You're always trying to find ways to stretch your dollars as an entrepreneur. How can I get the most? Not the least, but the most. And that book gives you the template, the tools to create, to construct, but also think out the box. And more than ever, we're learning, which you do so well, Pam, content, content, content. So that was the second book. The first one I'm going to call a journey.
Let me just say really quick about the second book. So when we did the second book, remember we did the PR boot camps?
Yes. Yes.
That was really where we did the PR boot camps, because we were teaching people how to do their own PR on a budget.
Yeah.
And we came to Detroit a couple of times, and we did the PR boot camp. We did it virtually way before.
We did it in California. We did it in LA.
Oh my God, we did it at Blogging. Was it Brown? Blogging? Yes.
Yeah.
So way before. We're like OGs in this. Okay.
I know, we are Renaissance.
So we did that thing. So that book I love. And I always tell people, I said, you know what? You need to get Karen Taylor's book. Okay. So get that book. So then there was another book. So tell us about how that one came about.
Oh, so the other book I'm thinking you're talking about is Brandon from Babies Business to Bliss or something.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
So that second book came about from having a baby and learning how to pivot again and how to reinvent.
Mm-hmm.
And still, you know, sometimes you're reinventing but not making money. So how to incorporate the dollars in the business and the branding. So that's what that is about. And Jill Scott wrote the foreword because she was a mommy, and the balance, right? And so one of the things the book talks about is there is no such thing as balance. Don't buy it on the shelf. Don't get it on Amazon. There is no balance. Absolutely not. You're going to have to do what you can do while you can do it. Sometimes it'll be crunchy. Sometimes it'll be great. Sometimes you'll feel good. Sometimes you won't. But accept the journey and knowing that balance is something that ebbs and flow, and you'll be okay. So that was that one. Yeah.
When you did that book, I realized at that point that you were on a different journey to where you are now. Yeah. And I'm going to say where you are right now is really, like you said, your sweet spot, but it's like a holistic way of looking at your life. Now, living in New York, and you were going into New York in the city, it's a very different vibe than Detroit. It's a different vibe than Chicago. I mean, it's like hustle, grind, and this and that. And so, you know, trying to have a family and, you know, this and that, it's just different. But when you wrote that book, you put yourself on tour, and I saw something in you that I hadn't told you this, but I saw something bigger than you than PR. I said, she's the star.
Oh God, I received that. Thank you.
And I was like, when you were on the Philadelphia shows, you were on the Good Day show. I mean, you were in the vibe. I was like, and then you were speaking at the colleges, and you were telling them about, it's good to have a career, but you need to have like a blend of your life, and you need to have, the last part of that book was bliss.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what's really, you were always seeking people to get into their, Dr. Vicky is on. I want to say, hey to Dr. Vicky.
Hey, Dr. Vicky.
You want to get to like that soul wealth, right? That's like one of your best friends. So
yes, she married me. Sometimes I want to just snatch her license back for that.
But that's where we all are. It's like, okay, we can have all this other stuff going on, but if you don't have bliss, if you don't have soul wealth, if you're not a good mom, if you've got to put the priorities in place. And so the work that you're doing in the world now speaks to all of that.
Yes. Amen. I receive that. I receive that. And the thing about, you know, and I know Dr. Vicky will attest to this, is the soul wealth. It's not something that just happens. You know, once again, you can't buy it at the grocery store. It's not on Amazon. You can't order it. It's not an app. It is the work. It is the challenges. I've learned so much about myself in the challenging, difficult times. And I know all of us do, because that's when you really get that moxie and know what you're made of. But what I've had to learn through all those books and discovering myself or rediscovering myself is to be kind to myself and to forgive myself. And, you know, that's what getting out there and being known is about, is being forgiving. Because the person that you were 2 years ago, you're so not today. And you just got to be like, you know what, that was me back then, and that's not me now, and be okay with that. Because your friends are going to change, your circle's going to change, you're going to change. And you want to rock out with changes, right? It's 2021. Hey, why not accept it?
Now, your first yoga class I actually took wasn't live, it was virtual. And that was last year. And I was like, what is this about?
Well, that was
And
my first virtual class. Yes.
oh, so fabulous. It was
Yeah, thank
fabulous.
you.
I was like, look at this. I mean, so I want to say God doesn't not use anything. So your marketing, your PR, all of that was put in together to promote these virtual yoga classes, which is
Yeah,
again new, trailblazing. You're always doing that. And that was so cool.
thank you.
And doing retreats for people, going into organizations where they may have a keynote speaker, but they'll also have like a weekend where you will go in and do retreats. So you're finding the niches for yourself of what feels good because it aligns with your purpose. We couldn't have did that when we were in 30. Or
No,
we
no, no.
couldn't even did it when we were 40. We're just,
Girl, I couldn't
march
even do
along
it
and do what we're
yesterday.
supposed to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So getting out there and being known, which I love, is the fact that you got to realize that, as you're getting out there and you are getting that credibility, that is where you're cutting your teeth.
Yes.
You are, pivoting and you are remixing. And so when I show up now at a conference, whether it's virtual or an interview, my mindset's different. Before, it's like, I got to say the right thing and I got to make sure I memorize this. And that's not authentic.
Right. Yep.
Authentic is being who you are, showing up on purpose, and trusting that the work you've put in will be seen and revealed. That is all you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
it
want
took
everyone.
time, not to interrupt. It took time.
Yeah. Yeah. I want everyone to go to KarenTaylorBass.com. Look at what her clients have said, but also check out her YouTube channel, check out her Instagram, her Twitter, and all of this stuff. I mean, I remember Karen and I have worked and collaborated on a couple of projects where we did.
Remember one last year?
Oh my God. We worked together. We did that thing in a pandemic. It was like, we know what that word means. But yeah, we did Fierce for Black Women together.
Yes.
Way before social media was really a big thing. And we were so creative on that. And we just did a lot of fun things together.
We were ahead of the game. We are the Debbie Allen of PR.
That's it. We are still going to be doing it. It's like, hey, I got these earrings. And
That's right.
I
got this, bro. We got this.
So one of the things that I want people to know when you get out there and get known, it's authentically you.
Right.
And Karen, does what she does. She's not the same where she was in her 30s, 40s. Now we're in the 50s. I'm in the 60s. So I'm in the 60s. So I can wear these earrings. Like
they look fabulous, girl. You gotta wear those earrings.
I know. I don't care what my daughter says.
I'm gonna wear those earrings.
I know. So the thing of it is that you can have your skills and she definitely went to college to do all this kind of thing, what she's doing now, but she stays true to what is a natural gifting for her: writing, speaking, communicating, and really sharing and giving. So she can take that and put it in anything. Like I can take Karen, if Karen wants to hire me as her publicist, which, we've been PR for each other, I could take her and then say, well, you know what? You need to be on this podcast or you need to be on this stage because I see her gifts. So if Bishop Ashtai has an event, Karen Taylor Bass needs to be in there. Or if Juanita Rasmus has an event, Karen needs to be in there. And that's what relationships are all about. I'm really saying that your gifts will make room for you. Stick with the people that know you, love you, get you. You need some get it people that help you with the purpose. Now, her purpose now is holistic PR. I was like, what is that? She told me, I was like, oh yeah, you've been on that path for a long time. That's what you've been doing. That is really it each time. It depending on the clients, because we fired clients before. It's like, they're not in alignment. They're in alignment. So we would know that there's certain clients that we would work with that we work with now just based on where we are. So kind of people, if you are, what type of clients you're looking for, what type of that really fit best for.
Okay, Pam, I'm sorry, you went out. So what did you say? Could you repeat that, please?
Oh, went out. What type of clients do you work best with, or what type of corporations do you serve the most?
So if we could speak it into present tense and what I'm doing right now, really doing very little to no PR, My days are spent doing webinars for corporate clients. Today I did one with John Hopkins on gratitude. So I'm definitely in the wellness space. Yeah, that's the space that I love, and that's my groovy spot. So between the webinars, the media strategist, as in consulting or media training, and then I do a lot of yoga. So I'll do yoga for Board of Ed, for the school district. I'll do it for corporations. I'll do it for groups. I'll do it internationally. So tonight I have a 14th anniversary couple yoga session. That is how they're going to spend their anniversary, doing yoga. So I've been able to find or create a space, a niche for myself. And that goes back to my PR background, right? So understanding, I always would tell myself and my clients that don't go where everyone else is going. If somebody's going right, I'm going left. Find a space that you can own that has your name on the marquee, and you can create it how you want it to be. So when I'm clear about myself with yoga, I started out yoga over 13 years ago. I was the only Black woman at that time in the class. And I always felt that I wasn't seen. When I did a downward dog, I was very conscious of my body, my big booty, my voluptuous chest. You know, I always was just so conscious of that. And then the instructor never saw me. I was just a dot. So when I found a yoga studio that had at the helm a Black woman, Daya Yoga Studios, Sintashe, I signed up to become certified because my gift and my passion is to see my brothers and sisters, to make sure that they know that I recognize their power and their pain because I have the same challenges, right? And I want to be seen, so they want to be seen. So that is where I spend my time now, is either on the mat, in a chair, with a microphone, but using my gift to motivate and to preach wellness, because that's not something that I got growing up. And I know that if we do something kind, even gratitude, research says that it adds 10% to our life. So if you can just smile and say thank you, you're going to live longer. But my doctor always says, you don't want to live longer. You want to live and be healthy. And that's the space that I'm in, is health, wealth, and being wise and being loved.
I love that. That is it, the wellness space. And that's really key, especially now. So one of the things that I really like that you're doing is when you said that you're using all your gifts and you use your PR background. So one of the creative things that you did was Soulful Yoga Day. So tell me about that, how that came about, and what the results were. That was a PR.
Level up. That was
you like pick your own day. So tell us how that all came about.
Oh my goodness. So every year, I think it's the third Saturday in June, is International Yoga Day. And it goes back to what I was saying, is Black folks not being seen, or not just Black folks, but BIPOC, people of color, Indigenous people not being seen on the mat. So it literally woke me up out of my sleep 6 months prior to us having the event. It was just like put in my heart that I needed to create International Soulful Yoga Day. And I was like, 6 weeks? It's like June 21st. How am I going to do it? I got a great team. We assembled, we came together. But the purpose of it, it just happened to also be a pandemic, is we wanted to create a virtual wellness experience. So we had vendors, we had speakers, we had sponsors, we had 7 types of different ways to do yoga: twerkanasana, healing yoga, soulful yoga. I mean, just all types. And all we wanted to do was just assemble the diaspora to have a moment, to breathe, to feel, and to heal. That was it. It was that simple. But see people who look like you and know that they see you. That was it. That was the goal. And actually, Dr. Vicki Johnson was one of our vendors. Yeah, and also so was
Dr. Andrea.
Dr. Andrea.
Yes, she was there too.
Yeah,
I got the T-shirt. I was
and
there.
you got
And
the soulful T-shirt. Yep.
so if you were to Google International Soulful Yoga Day, you will see all the PR that she did for that event. And
Yeah.
it was really good. Wrote the release. I mean, the whole thing. It's almost like she can do this in her sleep, watch, rinse, and repeat, write a press release, pulling it out. But
Wait a minute,
it was aligned with her passion.
You're giving me too much credit. You helped me with that. You submitted and sent out the press release to your peers and your colleagues.
You had the video with it and everything.
Your outlets and
we were.
So the one thing I want people to know, and you touched upon it, relationships, collaboration, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't come here by yourself. Okay, maybe you did. Got some help. But you don't leave by yourself, right? You're going to need help. So just like in business, just like in life, collaboration. I'm only as good as the people standing next to me. Mm-hmm. And so I'm surrounded by kings and queens. And we know that if Pam needs something, if someone else needs something, we're going to come together and collaborate. Yeah. And I'd rather get a piece of the pie collaborating than nothing, none of the pie. So remember that when you are like, if business is slow, you're in a lurch, who is like-minded and who has better skill sets than you that you can join forces with, even if it's temporary, and make some money. It's not just about I, you. Collaboration, not only does it save stress, but also as an entrepreneur, sometimes you're in your head when you can bounce things off other people and then hear them and they could receive you. Your blessings are more bountiful, but you also are able to see things through different lens. So remember, collaboration, relationships, being authentic, thinking out the box, knowing what your sweet spots are, what is your strength and talent, and also what is your weakness, right? Because if something is your weakness, then you get that person to complement that. Mm-hmm. So you don't lose time and don't lose money. And most importantly, smile and have fun. If you're not having fun, you don't need to be doing this. Life is too short, child.
Listen, me and Karen known each other so long, we finish each other's sentences.
Right?
If you don't love it, don't do it. Okay,
that's it. You want to have that joy in your step. You want to be able to be like, you want to groove. Tomorrow's not promised, but if you can get an ounce of feeling good this day and some gratitude and some happiness, seeing my sister Pam do her thing, Pam is the Pam. Okay?
The Pam.
Pam is the Pam. Whether it's a podcast, it's a show. She's on YouTube. She's been streaming before everybody else. She just didn't know it at the time.
Hey, I will be pushing those buttons, right? I'm gonna push the buttons. It's like we can do
I gotta do this. I was like, girl, please. I'm gonna put some earrings on and I'm just gonna do this.
It is. So one of the things that I just aligning with your purpose, rediscover who you are. It's almost like my current client I have, Juanita Rasmus, and she's a little bit older than us,
right?
Older than me, older than you, and she's talking about learning to be. Right. So don't wait till you're like in your 60s to learn to be yourself, learn to align with your purpose, because you can get out there and get known and it can get a blip, but you want it to be sustainable so that people will be able to know your brand. And if Karen decides, next week she wants to do something different, I don't know, she wants to sell bottled water with lemons or whatever, because it's Karen Taylor Bass, there you go, I'm going to buy it. I know her brand and she's going to be passionate about it, trying to sell me that bottled water with the lemon in it. Okay. Right. That lady who did Hint, she did billions of dollars with water that had a hint in it. Yeah. So really it was all about the marketing and the passion of her doing it and refusing to say no. So when you're writing a press release and you're pitching it out, be creative with it, but also before you even do that, sit still with knowing who your brand is, what your brand is, and then being in line with that, being in tune with that.
And that's all. And also ask yourself, what is it that I really want? And what is it that I'm really trying to say? What is the message I want to communicate? Do I want my brand to have a long shelf life? Do I want it to have a short shelf life? Is it just a pivot? Is it I'm stopping by brand, like, hey, I'm here and I'm moving on? Whatever it is, sit still and the answers will come to you, but write it down. Write a plan for the business. Mm-hmm. Write that business plan. Write that PR plan. They're two different things. The
Right.
business plan is going to sustain you when there's no customers, right? So that's that collaboration. The PR plan is going to promote the plan, promote the business. So those are two different plans. Your business plan is going to have your financial goals. So, we just don't happenstance into this. It's thought. Yes, I have remixed, I've pivoted, I have reinvented, but trust and believe they've all been intentional.
Yes. Yes. There was an article you wrote, I want to say it was Heart and Soul magazine. Was it about the branding? How to, was it Heart and Soul or was it Upscale? I can't remember what magazine it was, but it was one of those articles that I cut out and I shared with so many people. It was like a long time ago. So
Heart and soul. It was heart and soul.
it was Heart and Soul. I mean, I had to make a copy of it and then I Xeroxed it and I mailed it to people. I said, you need to read this. And it was just like how to brand yourself. And one of the first things you said in there was talking about knowing your purpose.
Yeah. What
You
is
remember that? That was probably 10 years ago. I mean, and so it's almost full circle in
Yeah.
terms of what you're doing. And
Yeah.
I just love you. I love what you're doing.
Thank
In
you.
terms of my pivot, I don't do as much PR. I'm more like a publicity strategist and a brand strategist. But I have a membership community called Ready, Set, Go, Speak, where everything that I know that was in my brain about marketing and PR is in the membership program. And twice a month, I really talk to them one-on-one about what's going on and how I can help them get out there and really get known. So the membership community, if you go to Ready, Set, Go, Speak, learn more about that. Learn how to really, if you're really interested in how to do PR right, that is where all the templates are, all my press release samples, all the media pitches, media lists. I mean, there's things in there. I'm like an open book in there. So if you join it, you can have access to it. And that's why I'm doing it, because it's at this point, I'm not so much really implementing it or executing it for people, but I do want them to have access to it and more people to do it right, more Black people to do it right. Really, that's really the main thing. I want our people to have access to the skills that we've learned over 3 decades, 2 decades of doing it.
Combined at least 100 years.
Yes, exactly. We said that before. It's like, wow.
I said something, and I think entrepreneurs need to recognize that. You've got to invest in your business. So the membership is an investment, right?
Yes.
Think about the things you invest in. You invest in Starbucks, but do you own a Starbucks stock? So, think about all those different things. You want to get out there and be known, but are you in the membership? Mm-hmm. When, as a publicist, when I was busy doing that kind of work, I made sure that I had invested in organizations,
yes.
Different things to level up, because you got to learn from others, but you realize that money likes energy. Let me say that again. Money likes energy. So if you're investing in something, that means you're going to get it reciprocated. It's energy.
Yes.
It's going to come back to you. Not only monetary, but knowledge, right? And with the knowledge, the brain can rethink something. So you can learn something in Pam's membership that you don't know, a tool, a skill set, get a template, and you're going to rethink the brain. So when you approach your business to get out there, you're like, wait a minute, page 2 of Pam's Get Out There, Ready, Get, what is it? Ready, Get, Go, right?
Ready, set, go.
Ready, set, go.
Speak.
You're going to be like, oh no, but she said, before I do that, make sure I own my domain name.
Yes.
My URL, because ownership is key. So invest in the membership. Invest in the sisterhood, the fraternity, the sorority, so that you're able to be edified. Because I'll tell you one thing I learned, and it's the last thing I'll say, is you learn a lot of things when you're working in the business and doing the work, but the real knowledge comes from the observation.
Ooh, that is so good. That is so good. Some things are taught and then some things are caught. So you gotta, the thing that we always said when we did our seminars, those that show up, go up. So you just gotta show up. And you go up.
Show up and execute. You can show up, but follow through on that show up.
Thank you. Karen Taylor Bass, KarenTaylorBass.com. International Yoga Day is coming up in 2021.
Yes, it is.
I want a new t-shirt. The t-shirt that I want, I cut up and everything.
I cut up mine too. Well, hopefully you can do it on site this year, yeah?
I hope so. I mean, this is the thing.
Details coming. If I could do a shameless plug.
Yeah, no. Go ahead. Because I want you to, I want people to connect with you because you're so phenomenal. But go on.
On March 3rd, if you go to my website, KarenTaylorBass.com, my birthday is March 1st. So it's my birthday month, but it's also Women's History Month. And I've been doing a series of virtual wine tasting, and it's an experience. It's so experiential. And last month, actually in December, it's every 3 months, we sold out. And so this time we're going to open up a little bit more to have more people come because we had sold out. But we are saluting Black female winemakers.
Oh, yes. I love that.
Yes. So we have a Black female winemaker from South Africa this one in March. We also have the famous McBride sisters from Sonoma County. And then we have one more coming. So, what happens is we play the drinking game. We talk about the history of wine. It's Q&A. And then we play this game called Your Black Card is Revoked. And so it's so many different things. What I've learned is during the pandemic, everybody's so besieged with Zoom calls. But if you're able to be on a Zoom session experience where people are comfortable, their cameras are on, and they're sipping and learning and playing games, honestly, what happens? The endorphins are through the roof. So go to the website and look at the virtual wine tasting. And a shout out to my sommelier, Moselle Watson, who is a Black man. And I wanted to have a Black male sommelier. So
cool. I love that. I will be there. I will definitely.
We do meditation also. So, I'm incorporating it all. It's breathing and sipping.
That's you. That is you. You'll incorporate it all. That's it. You'll blend it together. I love that. So I will definitely be there. So go to KarenTaylorBass.com and make sure that you do that on March 3rd. And happy birthday. Because that's I want to feature you in the March issue of Speakers Magazine. So please send me a new fab birthday shot. Okay.
I shall. I love you. I'm proud of you, and continue to ready, set, go.
Thank you. All right. That is Karen Taylor Bass. That is my bestie. And I am out. Pam Perry. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com, where you help you shine like a superstar.